Hi everyone, just wanted to offer a few thoughts for working with the beginning pianist. You might be a beginning pianist or you might be an established teacher, I don't know, but hopefully you will find something in here that you find useful for your piano journey. I like the Keith Snell series, and we're going to work with that just for a few moments today. One reason I like it is several reasons. One reason is that it focuses on the tonic-dominant relationship. That's the one chord in the key of C, and then the G chord would be the 5. So the tonic is the 1, the dominant is the 5. And I tell students that's like a king and queen or sun and moon. That's a very important pairing. So with this etude in C, the very first page, we have 1 chord, 5 chord, 1 chord. And as they're learning to play that, I have them sing the solfege. So do, re, mi, fa, sol, 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 fa, mi, re, do, etc. I'll spare you my singing voice, but I find it really important to incorporate the solfege so they can more intuitively understand the melody, and it's going to help with transposing eventually. So regarding transposing, let's get into that. As they're learning this etude in C, I'm also having them learn a G major scale. I tend to work on the circle of fifths side of the house before the fourth. So I'll go to G major scale. So once they get that G major scale under their hands, I have them transpose this melody, and the solfege comes in handy here, into G. Do, re, sol, sol, fa, mi, re, do, re, 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 mi, do. And then it's a little more challenging, but to add the left hand, but I will make sure that they can add that 1 chord and the 5 chord and then play it, etc. in the key of G. All right, then the final thing I'll add, we'll go back to the key of C. I will introduce the idea of the relative minor. I do not wait too long to introduce minor chords, the minor key. I don't like to treat the relative minor as if it doesn't have as important of standing as the major scale. So I teach them how to derive the minor scale from the major. I just use the 6, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I tell them start on the 6th note and play all the same keys. Of course, C major is great to start with because it's all white keys. And we start with the natural minor. So I get them playing an A natural minor scale, and then, you guessed it, we go back to this Keith Snell etude, or actually a Carl Czerny etude in the Keith Snell book. We go back here and we transpose the melody into the minor key. And I use the do, re, mi, fa, sol for the flatted third. So they would play. Now, the chords are going to bring up a new challenge here. We have the natural minor, and then as some of you that have already played music a while know that there's the harmonic minor with the raised 7th scale degree. I like to have them learn both. So I'll have them play natural. Well, actually, typically I'll have them, I'll play for them the harmonic raised 7th. And that sounds a little more familiar to most folks' ear. And then we play the natural minor. And just to introduce them a little more to that, I guess you could say like a modal sound. So anyhow, just some thoughts for you from this Keith Snell book, and that's just the first etude. We went through the key of C, transposed it up to the key of G, and we went back to the key of C and found the relative minor. And of course, I would eventually go through the key of G, find its relative minor of E minor, and play the etude in E minor. And in just 20 plus years of being involved in music and somehow, whether playing piano or drum set, orchestral percussion, etc., I've either experienced it on my own, the importance of transposing, especially working with a singer, or seen other musicians have to do it. And sometimes just on the fly, when you're on the bandstand, someone says, I'm not singing Don't Stop Believing in the key of E. I'm not Steve Perry. I can't do it. My voice is shot. We need to take it down in C. That's just one example of a real world situation I've seen with my own eyes. So, okay, hope that helps. Take care.